Hey guys, welcome to Denny's. Today we're going to jump into the patch notes for the brand new patch as of February 19th for patch 1.2.8. This patch is going live here in about 40 minutes. We don't have any in-game patch, but the patch notes went live on Steam, so I figured I'd make a video on it real quick. Middle of stream, don't forget to follow me over on Twitch if you'd like. We're live quite a bit over there, and we do all this stuff live and play the game live, and I can answer questions and stuff. But yeah, like the video if it helps out. Subscribe below on YouTube if you feel that I have earned it, and let's jump into the patch notes. So available on every single platform. 1.2.8 content improvements. The number of ultimate tier external components that can be acquired by defeating Colossi in hard difficulty void intercept battles has increased from 2 to 8. That is a 4x, so that is already massive right off the rip. The number of hunter external components that can be acquired by defeating named targets in Void Vessel has increased from 1 to 8. Bonkers. So 8 component sets will drop from hard Colossi and the Void Vessel last boss. And now we've got some new drops from 400%. Completing 400% will allow you to acquire 4 sets of ultimate tier external components assigned for each mission. Master Lab will be Slayer. Slumber Valley will be Supernova. The Shelter will be Destroy Resolve. Forgottenness will be Venom Essence. Unknown Laboratory, Annihilation. Seed Vault will be Bravery. Chapel, Frozen Heart. Asylum, Invader. Caligo Ossuary, Hungry Sonic. Mystery's End, Active Volcano. Haven, Polar Knight. Quarantine Zone, Hunter. And Heart of the Fortress, HP Support. Don't quite know what the HP support is, to be honest with you. Let's jump over here. Some of the monsters spawned in the 28-29 stage of Void Erosion Purge have been changed. Passage range. The spawning chance for Abomination monsters has been reduced from 25% to 10%. Battle range. The spawning of Abomination monsters has been eliminated. I don't know what that means, but if anybody does know what that means, let me know in the comments below. But nerfs to Void Erosion. Weapons and modules. This is probably going to be a decently big one. So fixed an issue where the visual effects of the restored relic cluster rounds trajectories blocked your sights. Awesome. Improve firearm attribute ATK or attack to increase according to the weak point damage upon successful weak point attacks. Some of the value and group of Descendant and firearm ultimate modules have been changed. We're going to read through all these changes here. I want to go over this one real quick one more time because I didn't quite understand. Improve firearm attribute attack to increase according to the weak point damage upon successful weak point attacks. Okay, I don't understand what that's for or if that's a general change. But anyway, let's go into the modules. So, lethal infection when landing a firearm critical hit on an enemy. Inflicted with a debuff, skill power modifier plus 2.5% for 5 seconds. And now it is 5% for 10 seconds. So you get double the skill power modifier for double the duration. Hyperfocus. On landing a skill critical hit on an enemy grants firearm focus. I'm sorry if you guys can't read this. I really can't zoom in anymore without totally ruining the screen in general. So I'm going to try to read these, but they have these in really small text. On landing, a firearm critical hit grants RK focus. Skill critical hit damage plus 10% for 10 seconds. Only one of these effects is applied. They have increased the duration of the first one to 15 seconds from 10. And the second one, the skill critical hit damage, they've increased the skill critical hit damage to 46% for 15 seconds. So a 5-second increased time, and also a 36% skill critical hit damage increase from Hyperfocus now, which is a giant skill buff for skill Descendants. But we're going to have to probably wait for skills to get buffed some more for them to be good in erosion. Keep that in mind. Last Stand. On a skill attack upon enemies, consumes all shield to deal additional damage. On top of the damage dealt, base damage is 8.5. Additional damage may increase by up to 17% according to your shield consumption. Max shield is 10,000. After the activation, for 30 seconds, get shield recovery for 1.5%. Basically, all they've done is increase that damage from 17% to 42, and the duration from 30 seconds to 60 seconds of the buff for the shield recovery. Continuous Exaltation. During charge sub-attack, grants the Exalt effect for 20 seconds. 5 stacks of Exalt. It changes the Passion effect. Get the first active skill cooldown. Minus 85% and skill power minus 25% for 10 seconds. So they changed that to minus skill cooldown minus 65% and skill power minus 10% for 10 seconds. And it's at 3 stacks. Interesting. Doesn't seem like a very big buff there. Technique manual. Landing a skill attack deals 46% of own max HP as additional damage. That it was useless. This is going to be awesome if this is good. Landing a skill attack deals 460% of own max HP as additional damage. So they literally, and that was, just to be clear, guys, that was completely useless. This thing, Technique Manual, was totally useless. This might actually be decent. I don't think it will be because I think it needs a lot more than that. Our max HP is like, in some cases, obviously Ajax can get really high, but most of the time it's like 10 to 20k. So if we 10x that, or sorry, 4.6x that, We're going to be hitting for 46k. That is literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Unless it scales differently now and is multiplied differently. But I think this is a big buff, but I still don't think it's going to be very good. We're going to have to wait and see. I might be totally wrong. Okay, on skill attack upon enemies with max HP. Deals 8.5% of the skill damage incurred as additional damage on the target. On skill attack, they basically doubled the damage of that. So 8.5 goes to 17%. Mid-air, fire, they reduced the amount of accuracy, but buffed the amount of defense. So you get less accuracy from mid-air fire, but triple the amount of defense. You used to get negative defense, now you don't. When defeating an enemy with a charged sub-attack, recovers MP instead of a 34% chance, you get a 100% chance. This is interesting because melee is useless. So MP Plunder and HP Plunder got a buff to a 100% chance when you get an melee attack, so that's interesting. When defeating an enemy, resets the cooldown of a random skill at 2.1% chance. It's now when defeating an enemy, resets the cooldown of a random skill at a 19.4% chance. Whoa. That might change the game up for Veterans Tactics. That might be a module we actually put into builds now. It's got a 5-second internal cooldown. That might be one we put in. Firearm modules per max enhancement. Special mod group. This is hardline suppression. On weak, it removed the special mod group. Okay. Is the chance to knock down target, so 100% chance now. Hardline suppression, removed the group. 22% chance to knock down the target on weak point hit instead of a 5%. Heat incinerator, removed the group? The same, I don't understand. Inflict burn on enemies. So they doubled the radius that these ones can basically hit to spread their dot. Hitting an enemy 3 times in a row with firearm attack, 25. They buffed frigid burn to 20 meters or more instead of 25 meters or more. Special mod group quick freezer, same thing. They doubled the range of frostbite applying to other enemies if you defeat enemies with frostbite. Venom injector, same thing. And then better weapon weight, battle efficiency group, that doesn't really mean anything. General rounds, weapon change speed. Up from 5 seconds to 15 seconds is your better weapon weight. Whenever you swap a weapon, you get a defense buff. It lasts 3 times as long, and it's a 100% uptime now instead of like a 33% uptime. Remote generator. This is same for general round. When defeating enemies inflicted with electrocution, so 8 meters to 15 meters, you inflict electrocution. On hit, brisk walk is a 24% movement speed buff for 10 seconds, up from a 10% for 5 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. That's insane. They buffed the heck out of brisk walk, but not a real reason to run it because obviously the movement speed cap. So we'll see. Obviously, depends on what your build is looking like, but there's that. External components. Okay, this is the real meat and potatoes probably of the video, what most people are here for, or most people are probably the most excited for. So set effects and value of the 6 types of external components have been partially adjusted. So Bravery, Volcano, and Invader. Okay, so Bravery 2-piece has had its HP recovery removed entirely. I don't know if I'm reading that right, but the max shield has been reduced by 0.1%. Okay. Skill duration was 6.6% for Bravery. When defeating an enemy with a stun debuff, 35% chance of a random skill cooldown, minus 1.6 seconds. That's what we had. Skill cost, minus 5.7%. That's actually pretty nice. For some builds, Bravery might be that extra skill cost you're looking for. When defeating an enemy, 20% chance of a random skill cooldown, minus 1 second. Huh. Interesting. That's cool. I don't know if it's good enough to make builds and stuff with, but that's cool. It's better than the stun debuff. So CDR, skill cooldown reduction, is coming into play there. Okay. This is what it used to be for Volcano. 6.6% to hand cannon, and shotgun. And sub-attack modifier. And after reloading, you get a skill power buff for 5 seconds, up to 3 stacks. It basically was increased. That skill power buff was increased by 0.8% for 10 seconds, up from 5 seconds. And then all of the firearm ATK has been buffed by about 4%. About 4 to 5%. and now it has shotgun ATK at 5.2%. So they actually nerfed the shotgun ATK by 1.4%, and then buffed everything else for the 4-piece set. The Volcano, that was only the 4-piece set that was changed, not the 2-piece of Volcano. So that's interesting. Invader. Max shield 11.9% has been changed to skill effect range plus 7.2%. When defeating an enemy, skill duration plus 2.1%. Tech skill, power modifier, and all that stuff has stayed. It looks like skill duration has gone up from 2.1% to 2.7%. So 0.6% times 5, that's 3% of an increase total for the 30-second duration, up from 10 seconds for skill duration. Not bad, I guess, but it's, 3% duration. 30 seconds is great. Up from 10 seconds, that's probably the best part, but unfortunately, 3% duration, like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be, I don't know. I don't think that's good. Okay, sniper rifle, scout rifle, critical hit rate. This is Frozen Heart. Totally removed that. It's non-attribute skill power now. So Frozen Heart will be non-attribute skill power. This is interesting. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Nova. And then skill cooldown, minus 4.7%. Stays the same. When buffing allies, Frozen Heart energy effect stacks. This was the old one. When reaching 4 stacks, you get a Frozen Heart essence effect. Firearm weak point damage plus 7.7%. Skill critical hit rate 28%. Firearm critical hit rate plus 7.9. Totally reworked it. Acquiring custom resource stacks Frozen Heart energy effect by 1. Cooldown 3 seconds up to 3 stacks. Frozen Heart energy. Max shield plus 6.2% for 15 seconds. On skill attack by Frozen Heart energy with 3 stacks. Enemies hit by the skill get Frozen Heart essence state. Frozen Heart essence incoming damage modifier plus 3%. So you get 18% max shield instead of all that stuff. You get 18% max shield. Moving on. Hungry Sonic, Toxin Resistance. It is turned into MP heal modifier. So MP modifier, that's cool. That's actually cool. Hungry Sonic you get a little bit of MP recovery. This one was crazily worded. I'm not even going to try to read the old Hungry Sonic 4-piece. Let's just read the new one. When using a skill, Flux 1 stack up to 5 stacks. Flux gives you max MP plus 0.6%. When buffing allies except for the player with Flux, 5 stacks. Recover the target's HP by 10.9%. So you get whenever you buff people, you get your own HP recovered, and you get right around 3% max MP for using skills on the Hungry Sonic set. So Hungry Sonic set gives you 3% max MP on the 4-piece for using up to 5 stacks of skills, and it lasts for 20 seconds. Destroy Resolve. Based on the HP loss relative to max HP, this was the one that gave you the toxic skill power. When successfully destroying Colossus parts, you would get Exaltation. You would get 9.7% additional skill power as toxic, inflicting desolation to the target. Basically just Colossus stuff. Totally useless unless you're fighting Colossi. This was changed to increase skill power by up to 14% based on HP instead of 7%. And then skill power plus 14% when current HP is 1. Just skill power in general, not toxic. To be clear, this is not toxic. They changed it from toxic to just regular skill power. And then each time inflicting an enemy debuff, 100%. Chance of recovering shield by 15%. So shields, whenever you inflict a debuff, you get 15% shield recovery. And an Exaltation on skill attack with 5 stacks. Fire the nearest enemy with a guided projectile. Deal 4.5% of skill power as additional damage. Inflicting desolation to the target hit. All attack of the target minus 0.5% up to 5 seconds. So 2.5% less damage the target will deal to you after being hit by this desolation rocket. We're really just going to have to get in game and see if the Distorted Resolve set hits really hard. If it doesn't, it's going to be useless. But if it hits really hard, then this might be our new set. We'll see. It's just spam. It's going to be for skill spammers. When using skills, you get Exaltation up to 5 stacks. On skill attack, when you have the 5 stacks, you get a guided projectile with an internal cooldown of 7 seconds, basically. So there's that. That's all the components. That was probably really hard to understand, but we'll see when we get in game. I think that a lot of those are, if I'm being honest, my first reaction is not good. Not good enough. I think we'll have to wait and see. But reading them, maybe it's mistranslation. We'll have to see But yeah, it doesn't seem good enough. I really am not usually negative. I'm sorry if that annoys anybody, but yeah, I just don't think that's good enough for making me change from Slayer. But let's move on to the rest real quick, and then we'll finish up the video. I don't want this to be much longer. I know it's gone on quite long. So user interface, subcategory changes for paint and common cosmetic items, miscellaneous. Added the following new options. You can choose the new option to not display explosive effects of all players, including oneself. So no longer are you going to be able to blind yourself with Glay. You're just going to turn off explosions entirely. You can choose to hide other players' titles. You can choose to not display your damage values on the screen. Nice, they're listening. The scope of application of the following existing options was broadened. Handgun items can now be added to the hide weapon on back option, so you don't have to see your handgun on the side. Fellow names can be added to the hide nickname option. Improved to show the name of the consumable item dropped in the field, which you already have in maximum amount. Nice. That's actually sweet. So you know what you're missing out on whenever you go to pick something up. It's like, oh, consumable full. Well, what am I missing out on right now? How much am I missing out? Content of bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the commander was spawned even if you did not defeat some monsters in stage 21, 24, 27. Never happened to me. Descendants, Keelan, Ultimate Freyna, and Ultimate Sharon. Fixed an issue where the gold gain amount for the dismissal of Keelan, Ultimate Freyna, and Ultimate Sharon was less than the intentional amount. Wait, you get gold for dismissing Descendants? I didn't know that. Haley fixed an issue where the visual effects of Haley's cryogenic effect continued to be visible even after the duration under certain conditions. Weapons and modules. Fixed the incorrect part of the description of the last dagger's unique ability. The description of the strike effect has been changed as shown below. Damage, firearm. The previous one was damage. That's obnoxious. Damage, 2 rounds per magazine and multiplier, and then the firearm attack, rounds per magazine and multiplier. And that was just a tooltip change. The tooltip change here, Ancient Fire effect is being applied to Restored Relic cluster rounds, so that means that Restored Relic got unnerfed, or I guess you could say unnerfed, or fixed rather. Fixed an issue where the cooldown of Continuance Exaltation module was not correctly applied. User interface, fixed an issue where you could restart from the results screen after stopping a field mission. Fixed an issue where the number of paint items is not displayed on the purchase confirm pop-up screen when purchasing paint bundles. Fixed an issue where settings show only my fellow caused all fellows to not be displayed. Change the rewards for completing Kate's experiment daily operation 30 times. Please check the event info page for more detailed information. Ooh, interesting. So a buff to the rewards for completing the dailies 30 times. We'll see. Okay, and then miscellaneous, adjusted the color brightness in Inez's default body skin. So they fixed the color issue with Inez's skin. They fixed an issue with the unnatural placement of Luna's eyes when using an enhanced skill to max gauge with the equipment of noise search module. Wow. Okay, I saw that on Reddit. Luna's eyes were out of her forehead. Fixed an unnatural movement of the Bang Valby's Oasis Party head skin. So a bunch of just fixes for visual bugs, it looks like. Tooltip. And display the cooldown of random chance shield recovery effects in 4-piece set. Distorted resolve components. Okay, that's pretty much it. Video's pretty long. Sorry, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch. I'm live right now. I'm live all the time. Thanks. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. And I'm out here. Goodbye.